confused with the way the city is planned.
It's clearly everything we've done over the last 20 years is Michael, who's been here for like a month and a half.
You're the guy now. You're the tall guy.
Month and a half.
Yeah, is that right? No, it's not even that.
Oh, really?
Nope.
Just over.
Okay.
5 weeks.
Okay.
And have you been in Florida? Is just now you're working here, or?
Yeah, I'm working here. I've lived in Oregon for 11 years of my life, but never actually living there.
Welcome to Oregon.
Their village. I had to think out for the city because they have planning and system.
Has anyone heard from Jessica?
Why is there gavel?
Okay. Oh, it's right there.
Yeah, that's the gavel.
Well, welcome everyone. Thank you for being here. Anyone call us to order or anything?
Sure do. I'm just pulling up my packet.
Yay for packets.
Nope, guess I'm not doing that.
You want me to start us off?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Welcome to the August 27th, 2024 meeting of the Along with Inclusivity Ad Hoc Committee. It is currently 5:35 p.m. We will start with attendance if we just want to go around the room and say who we are, starting over here.
I'm Diana Crocker.
Kate Stewart. Amanda Polly.
Michael Bidwell.
Christopher McMorrin. Chris Workman.
Zena Allen.
Rose Bricker.
And Jane Sherwood.
And then online.
Lori Lehman.
Perfect. Thank you all. And then we will move on to, we have a little backlog of some minutes that we need to approve. If anyone has comments on any of those, I got a comment texted to me on for the April 26th, or I'm assuming this meant
23rd.
April 23rd on line 26, changing it to the Oregon Cast Abolition Collective instead of the Oregon Past Abolition. We're not abolishing the past.
Cast like a C?
C-A-S-T-E, yeah.
And then I just want to continue to say that there is no E at the end of my first name. So on April 23rd, it's in those minutes.
Thank you.
Sorry, Lori.
I'll just keep saying it. It's okay.
Any other corrections to the minutes for any of the 3 months?
Okay.
I just wrote the July 23rd minutes. Lori does not have an E.
It's growth. Yeah.
Yes. Here we go.
Okay, well, if I don't hear anything else,
consensus to approve.
Yeah. Any objections to approving with the Scribner's errors corrected?
9 present. It's like, is he?
Oh, perfect.
Oh, there's Jessica.
Oh, okay.
Full house.
Well, being no objections, we'll consider those approved. And welcome Jessica, and then we have Izzy. I don't know if you want to introduce yourself online there or wave.
Hello, my name is Izzy Elliott. I tried to get live on City of Philomath Facebook website, but couldn't figure out how to do that. So here I am live in your Zoom, and I'm here to watch how you conduct a meeting. I'm hoping to learn proper ways of conducting meetings.
Wow, a lot of pressure.
Oh, gosh.
And I think just for the record, the city now live streams on YouTube instead of on Facebook. So if you are
Oh, okay. That
watch a
wasn't,
live stream.
all right, I guess I didn't see that. Thank you.
Yeah, we shifted a little while ago just because some folks don't have a Facebook account or have trouble accessing, whereas YouTube's open to anyone. So you can check the City of Philomath channel now. But
Thank you.
welcome. Okay. Then we'll have urgent business. Is there any urgent business?
I
All right.
check if it's right.
Nope.
I just have to check the agenda.
I believe urgent business is supposed to be like outside of whatever's on the agenda.
Yeah, that's checking. Sorry. Yeah, I guess it would be urgent business there. I finally got around to watching the inclusivity meeting, and I am not here to be angry or any of those things. I do think that it is a moment where us as an inclusivity can address that, how can we make our community feel safer and inclusive? And the discussion around freedom of speech and things like that, these are important discussions to be had, but it's also important to listen to how certain things affect people in our community. And for me, I have grown up here, have laughed with you guys, prayed with some of you, talked with you, and I never get the sense that this is that kind of community. We're good people here. And so I just wanted to come in and say, yeah, I guess I missed a bit and I'm catching up. But yeah, I feel like that needs to be addressed. Like, again, we all do have freedom of speech, but that does still have consequences. And for some people, it's not intentional, obviously. People at the Frolic didn't understand that symbol sadly has been taken over. So yeah, I just wanted to say that. And that I think that we as an inclusivity committee are here again to really unite our communities and move forward together. Sorry, there's my monologue. Thank you.
Thank you. And just for context, I'll just give an update on the communications I've had. Any other urgent business? Wonderful. Then under updates and announcements, the City Council did pass the Age-Friendly Communities Proclamation at our last meeting. So that's wonderful. And now it means we actually have to do it.
Which means,
Yes.
update, so our next steps then would be, along with a letter from our mayor pledging to make Philomath a good place to live for people of all ages, then along with the letter, we begin the process of membership. The application there are a few questions on the application that require a 200 50 to 300 word responses. So, with those, and then there are a couple that just require approximately 100 word responses. So, in all of that, I thought after the holiday, taking a look at the questions and maybe highlighting and pulling information that would be needed to answer those long questions, and then kind of begin that process of putting notes together to be able to answer those questions successfully as part of that membership process.
So I'm gonna pull up the inclusivity calendar then. You were saying after the holidays, you're like January?
No, I'm just talking about this holiday year.
Okay, I was
September.
I heard the holidays. And I was like, sure?
No, I'm talking about next week.
Here, that's fine.
Sweet.
Thank you for the clarification. Okay, so you're thinking,
Like, I will start after, I need about 2 weeks before
Gotcha.
I can start
okay,
working on this.
okay. So then should we say, like maybe in our October meeting, we would review everything?
Yes,
and-
October, I can at least give you an update of what I've got so far.
Perfect.
How about that?
Let me just add that in here. I guess, and then are there any questions from the committee about that?
Do you want any support on that?
So far, just let me get the outlines done, okay? Yeah, I'll make up the ducks in a row, and then we'll go from there.
Figure out what you can delegate and then do it.
You mentioned the letter from the mayor. Does Mayor Jones know that, or can we just do the resolution from the city council in lieu of that, or in addition to that?
I think there needs to be an addition, so the proclamation can kind of go along with the whole thing, but there needs to be the letter from the mayor. There are some examples that I do have, so I can catch up with you and kind of let you.
If you want to forward it directly to me or directly to
Okay.
Jazz, but either way I can get it to him.
Okay.
So he can start working on that.
Sounds good.
I think it's sort of like a cover letter to the proclamation. Sure. Yeah. Oh, wonderful. Anything else? And Amanda, if you ever want to.
Agenda.
Okay. I mean, I'm having a great time, but I don't want to
Just
take this
for,
away.
just for clarification, because I have to do this at work as well, I'm not texting, I am taking notes in my notepad on my phone, so I am hopefully, engaged
Wonderful.
digitally.
Thank you for
You're very
your
welcome.
engagement.
All right.
Oh, and yeah, sorry, Diane.
I just want to say thank you to Jane for picking this up and going with it, and following through on it, and continuing to follow through, because that's really wonderful.
It's been fun. It's been fun researching it. It's been fun talking to the AARP people of Oregon, which now I'm like, it's like, oh, this is cool. But anyway, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so the next item on our agenda is an update from the resident concern, which you just previously mentioned.
Sure.
So I will let you take that.
So yeah, I just said I would follow up from our last meeting. I was back in touch again with the resident who wrote to us, and they actually watched the recording of the Inclusivity Committee before I even had a chance to write to them and tell them what we talked about. So that worked well. Then I didn't have to try to paraphrase. I think they appreciated the discussion. They had some concerns about certain pieces of it, but and I offered to help kind of make connections or kind of, if they needed a discussion with the Frolic, and they decided they were going to take a little time to think about it and didn't need anything from me or the committee right now. But I said, just keep us posted if that changes or if they have further thoughts. And I have not heard anything since that exchange. So I'll let you know if I do. But yes.
I wasn't sure if it was worth mentioning also that another community member sent an email in saying that they watched it and had thoughts that they wanted to share. So I don't know if you were intending to.
Sure.
that out, or or?
Yes, I got a couple other emails from different community members
Okay.
expressing different thoughts. So that I think was a widely viewed meeting. So
Engaging with the community. I think
Yes.
that you should, because I was like concerned, you wanna, if somebody is watching this and they don't know what that means.
No, give some context.
Yeah, I just realized that it's like a broad,
Yeah.
and I didn't know, he's only been here
Um,
5 weeks.
I guess context. I will also just say, I think for anyone who's really curious, you should just watch it for yourself because I don't want to try to speak on anyone's behalf. But essentially, a resident reached out to me and I think the other counselors who are on the committee with a concern about the thin blue line flag that was displayed in the Frolic and Rodeo Parade. That flag was carried by a representative of the Frolic and Rodeo in their section. Which the city of Philomath does not have any sort of legal jurisdiction over, but they still reached out as sort of a community concern, and about it, and there was some discussion back and forth amongst committee members and staff, and then we kind of left it that we did not want to necessarily overstep our bounds without talking to this resident. So the resident had a chance to hear what we had to say and then got back in touch with me. So I can follow up again. I also don't necessarily want to pester them if they're, doing things on their own. But yeah. And then, like I said, I got several different emails afterwards. One from someone who was very concerned about sort of vilifying the rodeo queen, one from a community member who was very concerned about sort of comments about the rodeo accepting or not accepting like white supremacy, one from a resident who didn't feel like we understood all the context about the flag. So there was a robust feedback and I got back to all those people and I called a few of them just to kind of hear them out and hear what they had to say. And I'm always happy when folks are very engaged, and I am pleasantly surprised when people actually watch our meetings online. I think that's wonderful, so I was glad to see that. And the city manager and I also had a meeting afterwards and kind of talked through some of the concerns, and yeah, so I think as far as I can see right now, it's a little bit just between this resident and another resident maybe in the Frolic, but there's not necessarily a role for the city in there unless if it comes back to us with a request to do that. But since I got a request to not do something right now, I want to stand by that. To answer any questions on that, but I just wanted to give the update.
Any response from the Frolic?
We have not gotten anything. For the context, the email that I think Councilor Andrade was mentioning was sent to the Frolic board with the council CC'd, so it was not addressed to the council or to the city. So there may be communications going on there that we're not privy to, but I don't know. Anything else? Okay. Oh, yeah, sorry.
I was like, at this point, no. I do think that there is a broader discussion to be had simply around, yes, this is somebody came forward to you, but if one person came forward, then what is that? Or a few people came forward and said that they were uncomfortable. And yes, everything without the context of the rodeo queen and her father and everything, it's important, but I think we need to think about, without that context, how did that make people feel? And so I think that if these people don't want to pursue this, I don't think obviously we should, nag them, as you said. But I think it has a greater implication about our city and maybe how we deal with these kinds of things that should be continued to be talked about. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you.
Okay. So that brings us to the inclusivity calendar updates, and then the first item under that is the National Hispanic Latino Heritage Month social media post and banner.
Yay!
And so the banners you should have here,
It's, yeah, and it's in the,
it's not in the
or it
packet.
was in
That-
the.
which that
It was
was,
separate.
yeah.
I didn't see this one. I haven't seen this one.
Okay.
Oh.
And last night.
So yeah, the banners, were sent out in the last couple days. And then, the social media post, Jessica just sent to me and I just sent it to Chris, if you want to screen share that.
Oh, no.
You know, it's here.
It's the Columbus way.
So I guess, just since folks maybe had a chance to review the banners, if we just want to start with those, are there thoughts or, are we happy with those? Or is there one of the three that we're more drawn to or less drawn to?
Are we just looking at the Hispanic heritage?
Yeah, starting with just Hispanic Heritage Month.
Lori has her hand up
Oh,
also.
thank you. Sorry, Lori, you're very small on our screen now that we're screen sharing.
Why, thank you. I have been trying to lose some weight, so that's good. I love the banners, and I especially I think the one that is the most easily readable for me is the one that is the third one that is white with orange writing.
Yeah.
That's my opinion on that. So
Print better, just
And-
because it.
I'm sorry. I was just going to say, and thank you once again and always, Diane, for your person to get those, or whoever. I thought it was her, but maybe not. Anyway, they look great.
It's Cheryl. That's
Yeah, these are great. Love them. Thank you, Diane. I think I agree about the third one. The only thing I would request is that there be no serifs on the font, just because the serifs are more difficult to read, especially from far away. So if that font could be changed to sans serif, that would be great.
I don't have that language in my vocabulary. What are you talking about?
We can work on it.
The serifs are the little things that stick out off of the letters. So like if you look at the one like honors, they technically kind of have little serifs, I think, but those are fine.
I'll
There's,
I'll pull
nothing-
it up.
Or Comic Sans is like a really good example of one that does not have serifs. No, but that's the reason why.
Yeah.
Our subcommittee will handle it. I promise. I will agonize over the font. No.
We trust you.
Thank you.
The issue is a time issue.
I can get it done by.
I'm going out of town.
I will get it done.
I'm out.
Okay, all right.
Taking care of.
Okay, well, we'll figure it out. And I think, worst case scenario, this is still great if it
Yeah,
goes up.
they look.
Great.
Yeah. So, thank you very much. This is, the worst case is still a wonderful case, so. Anything else?
So have a clarifying question, or is gonna be a selection of one of the banners or all three gonna be?
Yeah, we usually just print
Welcome.
two or three copies of one, and then they go up two
Yeah.
copies of one, yeah. There's one that goes just in the parking lot out here, and then one in front of the fire station, so.
Crazy if we had all of the options.
It would be cool. Okay.
Maybe one day.
No, I feel.
Anything else?
And then the post, right? Yeah, that's up
Yeah,
there.
yeah. So yes, this is shared on the screen. I know it's maybe a little hard
Would
to read,
someone
but
care to read that?
yeah, I can read it out loud in a sec if that works. But just this is drafted by Jessica, or well, it's sent to me by Jessica. I don't know.
Yeah, it's very basic. I wasn't quite sure what to do, especially since it doesn't seem like we have any like celebrations in the county that I can find at this moment in time. So, because I was hoping to promote one of those. And then I couldn't find the Corvallis Bend County Library reading lists. Like I tried searching and wasn't sure if I needed to Google certain words. But I was hoping to insert the URL there as a resource.
I can get you that tomorrow.
And I'll check on that too.
I gotta go to the library next evening.
Okay. Well then I'll just read it out loud. Happy Hispanic and Latinx Heritage Month. Nationally, this celebration occurs every September 15th to October 15th and coincides with the anniversary of independence for several Latin American countries as well as Mexico and Chile. Join us in learning more about Hispanic and Latinx history and culture this month. Hispanic and Latinx Heritage Month reading list, Corvallis Bend County Public Library, insert URL here, and then National Museum of the
American Latino.
Latino. Perfect.
They're part of the Smithsonian.
Okay.
And they have really cool information about both the Heritage Month as well as like other kinds of digital collections that you can look at online.
And then, was there a picture on there?
Yeah, if you scroll down, I put the link to it also because I didn't know how else to credit the image. But yeah, I wasn't quite sure what else to add. So if anyone has any thoughts about that,
Great.
Have you connected with some of the local organizations?
I thought about it, but then I was like, I don't know what to promote necessarily because it's not like it's supposed to the audience is for everyone, and so I just was trying to make it as general as possible with some detailed stuff. But
We could also, like, if we make the post and then something gets announced or any of us hear about something, we can always comment the Facebook post, so it stays all contained, but we're able to like add stuff to it if we're learning about events after the fact.
Will the post be copied? And I think it would be cool if it was where you didn't have to need a translator, where it was actually in Spanish as well. That would be kind of a cool. Just saying.
Or Spanish.
Spanish
or
and then
English.
English. Just saying.
Just to be a little nitpicky, is the wording in the first sentence the best where it says independence for several Latin American countries as well as Mexico and Chile? Should it be such as Mexico and Chile?
they're not Central American countries.
Latin American.
Oh, that's true.
Oh, I was thinking Central American. I meant to put Central American.
Can we change Latin?
It's supposed to be Central American.
Okay, that's a good. I was wondering that too. I was like, you know what? That probably knows more than me. Okay.
I was like hurriedly like looking at multiple sites at the same time.
Sure. Good catch, Chris. Thank you.
Thank you.
It was a pretty cool piece of artwork, wasn't it?
Yeah, there's some pretty cool artwork on it. It's from that same website.
Does it? And so it credits the artist?
I couldn't find the artist on there, but I put the website on
Okay.
the bottom.
Yeah.
So aside from the Latin to Central America change, or anything else anyone wants to change, or are we good with it?
Does the city have the ability to translate? Do you have a native speaker who'd be willing to do that, or have a resource?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think translating it, having them both would be awesome. Good idea, Zena.
I know the new Spanish teacher. Ask her to volunteer.
Are you asking someone to translate that? Is that what you are saying?
Yes.
Okay, because our staff person Viviana is going to be in the office tomorrow and she can do it for us, so. I'm sorry, my dogs are going crazy. If that works, I'm trying to talk fast while they're
No,
not.
that's, yeah, does that work, Chris?
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Just email it to me.
If
Okay,
you
and
could,
here,
can you
yeah,
email
Lori,
that to me?
yeah,
I'm
I'll
sorry.
email it to you right now, yeah.
Yeah, and then I will ask Viviana if she'll do it, and then it'll just take her a minute, and then I'll send it back. Okay, does that work? Yay, yay.
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 Okay.
Cool. All right. So now we are up to the Indigenous Peoples' Day Proclamation and banner.
And just for context, we have the banners, the proclamation that's in the packet is last year's. Just because we had talked about, I think at our last meeting, kind of, maybe giving it a little refresh as needed, but mostly just kind of one of those proclamations we can kind of pass annually. So, yes.
I've not seen the banner yet. I know that this gets really complicated, but did we have any input from any tribes at all? Yeah,
Yes.
like it's okay.
We got permission from the Siletz and the Grand Blanc to use the logo. It's quite a long process, but we got that, and they gave us the artwork to put on.
Fantastic, thank you.
To clarify, the artwork of the logos or the artwork that's also behind, like on the images?
The logos.
The logo? Did they see what they look like on the banners or?
No, they did not.
Shh. It's not banner time. And I know that your crunch time is always going to be a crunch, so where are we looking at for this one? October.
It's soon. Our next meeting will be too late.
I gotcha. Now I got it. Okay.
But
We gotta meet up.
we had to wait for the permission for the logos, and we.
Fully understandable. Gotcha. Gotcha.
So the major thing I see is the apostrophe needs to come after the S in peoples. And then, if possible, I would appreciate the tribes like verifying that the backgrounds are okay, but like I feel like it's probably fine to just use whatever, but
We first
Yeah.
asked back in January for the permission to use the logos, and it's taken this long for the wheels to work. There's no way we'll have this done by October if you would like them to do that, but I'm fine, whatever you would
I
like.
think it's important to look at some of the time frames, not only for our own sanity and for Cheryl's sanity. Really, I'm working on a piece I need to be doing anyways to get it in 3 days. So I'm with this, that we might need to also slow down and put more intent and let Cheryl and just when do we need them done, and give ourselves some grace, because we're gonna be doing these once. I mean, they could change, but for now, this is what we have. Sorry. Your hand up, I think.
Well, I was just gonna say, because of the fact that we are using the logos, and the logos having anything else around those logos or having anything in the background that hits those logos, that we may wanna stick with having that white box, so that here's the logos with the white box, so there's no piece where we're impacting how the logos are being presented. And that way, we're sticking very much with the artwork that they've provided without any modification, but still having it together.
I really agree with that.
From what I can see here, it looks like the one on the left, or I guess would that be on the one that has 3 potential logos, the left one seems to fit from like all the feedback I'm hearing. It seems to fit all of the criteria because it's in a white box already, and it's going to be the one that we can probably go with, like right.
And it's easy to see.
Yeah.
I mean, we could even just completely, just do the whole white box, get rid of the whole like pattern, so that's not just like, because I don't know if I think kind of maybe what you're getting at is that like it looks like what one might think something Native American or Indigenous looks like, but I don't know if it's like accurate, and so.
Lori?
It's just a pattern. It's not, there's no, I don't think we need to overthink it. I think, as far as the background goes, I think just making sure it's readable. So, I agree the white box is the best if that's what you're saying, like you don't want to have any fish or feathers or anything around it. But it is, again, for me, the way that, that one, I don't know, there's like, are there 5 of them? I have 5.
Yes.
So on the second page, the one that has the brown, Indigenous Peoples Day logo in the center between the 2 logos is very readable to me. I agree that the comma is in, the apostrophe is in the wrong place for peoples, but if you want to, is it possible to take the feathers off that if that's offensive to the group? It's not offensive to me, but if that's what you're trying to say, that you don't like that on there. But to have that Indigenous Peoples Day in the center between the logos, that seems very readable.
Is it okay to say, Lori, that you are an Indigenous person?
I am, yes, in fact, I am an Indigenous person.
Your opinion
That
on
is,
this would weigh heavier than.
that, yes, my opinion should weigh heavier on this. No, it shouldn't, but that is my opinion. So I'm just, I think we tend to overthink things sometimes, and the background is just the background. So if it's offensive to those of you in the room that are worried about having extra feathers or, a background on there, then that's a thing, but it's just, it's a background. So I agree that the white box makes it, especially for the logo of the Grand Ronde, the Silettes. No, the other one, the Grand Ronde, that has feathers hanging down. When you add feathers in the background, that does make it a little bit more confusing. So.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, I agree with I like the middle one there. It just feels more, visually appealing than a white box. A white box feels like we forgot how to use like PNG files. And I do just like that it has Indigenous Peoples Day all in one box. It was like Indigenous, so let's
That's true.
Peoples Day.
Yeah.
But that's, it's a minor thing. So I guess that would maybe be my preference, but I'll do whatever.
I would agree with that preference, with the request to get rid of the bottom bar that the feathers are landing on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
Or the bottom and the top, just so that you're keeping the.
But I do really like it's one word.
Does that seem workable, Diane?
Yes.
Okay.
Take out the bar under the feathers and at the top.
I think we should probably take both of them out if we're gonna take one of them out, yeah.
Yeah.
And put the apostrophe after S. And do the middle one, is that what we've?
Yeah, this one here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's the
yeah,
one.
perfect, yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much for sending those out electronically for those of us on Zoom too. I appreciate that.
No problem.
Any other thoughts about that?
Oh,
I
please.
just had a question.
Yes.
If we make those changes and hang out the little swoopy things on the text over here, do I have permission to go to printer or do I need to somehow?
No.
That? Okay.
Yeah. Wild.
So
Thank you very much for.
The sans serif font.
Oh, sure.
Better example than Comic Sans.
Yes, never use Comic Sans as an example.
People font.
Unless if it's a comment.
I'll just tell her to.
Okay. So, yeah, we have the proclamation from last year. Is there anything that stands out in here that people would like to change? I mean, obviously we'll update the dates and the, sort of logistical city things, but,
Spacing in Indigenous, is that what you're talking about? They're gonna fix that?
oh, we'll fix that. I think that might have just been a file error. That's, yeah.
Yeah, it looks good to me. With the dates changed.
The one thing I will check is I feel like when I was on the school board, we approved partnerships with the Confederated Tribes of the Siletz and the Grand Ronde. So that may be new. I just want to make sure we're calling out Siletz in the fourth clause. If they do have partnerships with both, that we mention both. That's the only thing I thought of. Because I think it started with just a partnership with Siletz. Maybe don't quote me on this, but then I think we may have expanded that.
The teachers rode a school bus to the Siletz to get training on how to teach about the Siletz. So
Perfect.
that did happen, and that was a while back when I was still teaching.
Yeah. Okay. Well, great. Then we'll just maybe update that if needed, but otherwise, is everyone comfortable with, we'll just send that to the council?
Great.
Okay.
Our next item on the agenda is our Veterans Day event.
I think we have one other.
Disability employment.
Oh, I skipped one. Just making sure everyone's paying attention. Y'all pass. The next item on the agenda is National Disability Employment Awareness Month social media post.
What?
And this was another one of my various update emails that I got this from Councilor Crocker and shared it with you all. So this is in a follow-up email to the packet. Chris, I don't know if you might be able to share the screen if there's, or Lori, you have that, right?
This was in the same one as the banners, right?
Oh, okay. Here,
Okay,
I'll email this to your Gmail.
On this, the access to good jobs for all is the 2024 motto for this celebration. Each year they change it, and so this will only work for this year, but it is accurate for this year. This has permission to use it as long as we leave the reference here and here on it.
Okay, yeah.
It's just the city logo. So that's the post. It's just a text.
It's just in here.
Yeah.
That first line was supposed to be centered, but it's.
Yeah, it's just, I think,
format.
copying and pasting it, yeah.
Yours has a little plant.
Mine has a screaming possum.
Well, to read it out loud.
Yes, please.
And yeah, for anybody
Yeah.
possibly
Okay.
with disabilities listening as well.
So National Disability Employment Awareness Month social post, October 2024, access to good jobs for all. October has been designated as the month to honor and recognize the many contributions of people with disabilities in the workforce. In 1945, our nation first designated a week to recognize the contributions of people with physical disabilities. Congress changed this in 1988 to a month called, quote, National Disability Employment Awareness Month, and chose October to be the month of this annual recognition. In 2001, the Office of Disability Employment Policy, ODEP, took over the responsibility for advocating the acknowledgement of these contributions by our disabled workers. Nationally, statewide, and locally, people with all kinds of disabilities contribute greatly to our society. We take this month to recognize and honor those who work amongst us, many with unique and difficult challenges, but well-documented contributions. The City of Philomath would like to recognize all the disabled employees and their valuable contributions.
Yay, thank you.
I think in the minutes where I volunteered to do this, we were talking about physical disabilities, and when I did research, that physical word was not in it, so that's why
true.
I dropped it.
It is a limiter and lots of people don't have, sorry, I used to work at the Disability Equity Center. So often you don't see physical, or other disabilities, so. I like that, thank you.
But that's why I changed it. It was
Yes, you're on it.
accurate with the national.
Okay. Anything else?
Good.
Okay. And then there, the picture there, and I didn't mean sharing that. It's just the.
Sorry.
You can pass it around.
Yeah, sure.
We need like a lazy Susan or something. Like this, I need to train him to go.
Yes.
Materials.
Or thing that just brings it around.
Especially with your snacks.
Did that come through on the?
It did. I just it's not
Okay.
on the one graph. Yeah, I think everyone got that in the attachment, right? Okay. It's working. Okay.
I just brought one copy in case somebody couldn't see it.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. We appreciate that.
Right, now,
Thanks.
she's got it.
I do. Did see it. Thank you, Jessica, very much, but also Christopher sent it, so I'm happy. I can see everything.
See all the things.
And the people online.
Yes.
For posterity.
So yes.
Now, we can talk about our Veterans Day events.
Tuesday.
And we have on the inclusivity calendar, the only thing for Veterans Day that we had noted was an event, which Rose, I think, was going to try to talk with the Park Advisory Board or get maybe an update there on.
I was gonna do that.
Definitely
did it. We'll have a meeting next week.
Okay,
So
cool.
I will.
Okay, and if you even just want to
Mention
send
that.
me an email, I can share it out with the committee. And
Okay.
that's still several months off. So.
Okay.
Oh, no, veteran.
Remember?
No,
I get, yes. It's like, isn't that like in a few days? That's Labor Day.
We'll be here soon enough though.
Yeah.
It's flying by.
Okay, well, any thoughts that Rose should take to the board advisory board on that, or?
Sorry, y'all.
I think I read about that, in our new Veterans Park is
Yeah,
that.
that's the
And,
hope.
what are we thinking, a speaker or just a celebration inviting the public?
Well, I think that we're hoping that the marble comes in and the park is ready to be opened. So it'd be a park opening and a Veterans Day mission thing.
Yes, so there'll be food and fun and.
Those are all the questions that have yet to be answered.
We're still gonna connect with
Yes.
everyone.
It is wet.
You wanna go for it? The last meeting, Chris and I were talking, because Chris had some irons in the fire getting going. And I know Eric Neiman has been a champion for veterans
Yes.
as well, so we probably wanna loop them in.
Yeah, my primary concern's on whether or not the granite's gonna be in on that date or not, because some of the other things that I was initially trying to plan won't have as much significance if we don't have the
Memorial.
granite in place and
Yeah.
memorial there, so
Okay.
it's a little pending that right now, and I don't have a good time frame. So we'll get an update, I'll coordinate with you and Chelsea and see, for all I know, yes. The bottom of the ocean for all.
I don't know who put it together, but last spring at a baseball game, there was a big honoring of Paul Cochran's family, referencing sort of this whole thing, and it was really well done, so,
Yeah, I'm gonna say spearheaded that and.
Kind of the go-to, you know, Northern Sky, among other things.
And
Yeah.
the one that we did against for the triple nickels that has been widely received and echoed. So good on us, small town.
yes.
Yes. Okay, well, we'll just await, I guess, an update at the next meeting then. And yeah,
Perfect. Okay, our next item of business, the Universal Human Rights Month social media post.
so this is just our next thing that we haven't talked about. We said we wanted to do a social media post for it. Is anyone feeling very passionate about the subject?
About human rights?
Yeah. If anyone in favor of human rights?
Always if I can have somebody write it with me.
Okay, anyone want to take that up with?
Dyslexic. I
Sure.
need somebody to.
Oh, okay.
Hey.
Steve, back to the subject.
You need a teacher.
Okay, wonderful. Well, we will look forward to seeing that. And I think, yeah, if you just are able to have that done, and then
What month does it?
December.
so
It's right here, I'm sure, but.
Question on that though, because I feel like this happens every year. We end up canceling because of Thanksgiving and then again
That's
because
true.
of Christmas.
That is true.
So,
maybe have it for October.
I mean, it's up to you. I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah.
We will have it ready by the October meeting for sure.
Thank you for that.
Unless we want to have different days that we meet in November and December.
No, that makes sense. Yeah. I heard loud and clear. Okay, so we'll shoot for October with that then.
I get the fun ones.
Okay, so our next item of business is the community co-chair rotation and meeting cadence.
Well, as we know, our wonderful community co-chair, Amanda, has reached the legal age of retirement.
There's like a pension that comes
Yes,
with
yeah,
that.
health benefits, yes.
City government.
Pieces for everyone, as you
And I guess this is a refresher if anyone missed some meetings or is new. In the past, we've been kind of trying to hit the sweet spot with the community co-chair piece. The committee is structured to have a council co-chair, which has been Councilor Andrade, is me right now. Who knows who it'll be in the future? And that we try to rotate annually, just on the same update as all the other council committees that we get kind of appointed to in January. And then we have a community co-chair who's a non-council member who helps chair the meetings and looks over agenda stuff. And that we've been kind of fluctuating on, but we're trying to do 3 months at a time or 3 meetings at a time right now. So that it's enough that you feel like you can kind of do something, take ownership, but it's not overwhelming and you're not signing up to, you know, do a year-long commitment or 6 months or something. And with the caveat that I think if you're really loving it, you know, you usually won't fight over it. Yeah.
before you hit total exhaustion.
Right.
And then
Right.
you-
Yes. Yeah. So we talked about that briefly at the last meeting, but just if there is anyone who would like to do it, or if you want to keep doing it, or anything like that, we just need to know sort of what our plan is moving forward.
I was thinking sort of in the same, I mean, if someone else wants to do it, I'm not gonna fight you, but I was kind of thinking, just knowing how things went last year, I don't think we met in November or December. So
Sure.
if a new person comes on, it'll basically be for October, November, and then they'd have to like wait 2 whole months and then do a third one. So I'm happy to do it for the next 2 months, and then if we do meet later in the year, then, but, I mean, it's been a very chill summer. I'm not burned out.
Okay.
It's been a chill summer, huh?
Well, for this, like, we've done a whole lot, I mean, we've done a lot, but not like,
Yeah.
I mean, we're past Pride, so.
That
Everything else is
that
just looking down the river from here. So,
Is there any?
Good idea.
keep on keeping on.
Just love to hear from Jane and from you about how you felt about doing it, whether you felt like it was worthwhile, whether you've had more meat in the game or whatever you want to say, I don't know, than an observer, or what was your experience? I mean, do you feel like it's valuable to have a community member, and was it?
I think so. I mean, if nothing else, it has given me an opportunity to talk to Chris. Like, so like, but like to kind of have an open channel, right? So like, but if we need to text or, you know, there's just kind of that piece to it. And then, you know, you get to talk a bit in the meeting. So if I love to talk, I'm not very formal at it, but I like to do it. But if you're somebody who doesn't have that experience, it's kind of a nice place to test it out where it's not, you know, stakes are really not super high. But I think it's been valuable just to.
Yeah, I agree. I think I've always felt more prepared when I'm the co-chair
More
than
in the know.
just, you know, walking in the door. Even though I've read my notes and I've done that, I think having that homework ahead of the game, I've always enjoyed taking that spot. But I really can.
So I definitely think it's valuable. I think it's that's a good question, just to see if it's, you know, but I've liked it. I think it's.
Good, that's great.
Rose has chaired before too. Do you have similar, you were nodding your head, but I didn't want to.
Yeah, agreed with everything. I think I want to use the word ownership, but it's not really like you're running the show, but just that you're partnering with the counselor and you're really thinking about how the meeting's gonna be run, what happened at last meeting, the enrichment of it, I think, is beneficial to community members, makes us feel like more skin in the game, kind of.
Exactly what I was, yeah.
Yeah, and I like the 3-month rotation. I think it's just long enough.
3 months would be hard to get my feet wet and know what I was doing. And then they take it away from me, so, I mean, it's just.
You have wonderful counselors that are helping you.
That's how I felt. The county library board used to meet monthly and now they meet quarterly. And that's how, and then I became the chair, and then, you know, you chair 4 meetings and like your term is up and you're like, okay. But yeah, it is odd. But okay, so are we all happy to have Amanda continue on for at least the
Good
next
idea.
2 months, and then
Thank you.
Continue
We'll
bringing
see.
my chaos to the
yeah, you're
monthly meetings.
very calm, collected chaos.
Thank you.
Do we want to look at November and December? Because I was looking at
Well-
the calendar, and that's like the week of Thanksgiving and Christmas Eve.
I think that brings us maybe to our next topic, which was just meeting cadence. If you wanna, this was from you. I don't know if you wanted to talk about it, but
Yeah, it's just similar to the discussion we just had, just kind of a checkpoint to see meeting monthly, is it working? I mean, I feel like we've vetted out the calendar pretty good on each month, and we're always trying to work a few months ahead. I'm always cognizant of volunteers' time and meeting time, and if the meetings are valuable, or if we can do more through email or other correspondence. So the question, I guess, was, is monthly still feel appropriate? Can you go to every other month? Would that work? Can you go to quarterly? So just floating it out there for discussion about that kind of cadence, meeting every month. Does that seem to be working? Is it more than you want? And then after that discussion, then yeah, I think we should look at the calendar at November, December and make a decision if we're gonna take a month off.
2 months.
Yeah, 2 months.
I mean, I personally think that once a month works. I think too much time in between these meetings, I feel like there's a lot of work that we have to do as a city, as a committee, and if we're meeting less often, I feel like it loses the importance of what we're doing. Lori?
Yeah, I agree. I think especially with proclamations, how we have to get them done ahead of time and then to the city council so the mayor can sign them and the city council can approve them. I think if we met less than monthly, that would become a backlog. And I don't think that's what we want.
And I think it's almost a year since I've been on the committee, and just based on what I've witnessed, it's pretty flexible about people who can't make it or can make it, and so, if there are a handful of folks who can't make it monthly, the notes are pretty informative. We're all very welcome to being reached out to and say, hey, what did I miss? Were there, like, that discussion sounded really intense, like, what's your take on it? Like, I think that even if you can't make every meeting, there's still lots of ways to, like, get back into it and still be involved, so.
I missed 2 meetings. I took a break and for the summer, and I think I still was able to watch things and connect, so.
So monthly, sounds like, we'll keep going. And then, do we wanna have a super meeting in October that'll carry us through the end of the year? Or do we wanna try to find a different date other than Thanksgiving week or Christmas Eve to try to meet in November, December?
Is it the 4th Tuesday or the last Tuesday?
Fourth Tuesday. But we could look at a last Tuesday. of
So in
the-
December, no. Yep, that's Christmas Eve.
New Year's Eve.
there's no better place to spend Christmas
We
Eve
could have a
than
party.
City
It
Hall.
could be great.
Have a disco ball.
I was like, yeah.
Is there meeting schedule to move it like to a week earlier? Just for those 2 months to avoid the holidays?
Lori?
Is there work that needs to be done so that we do need to move it, or is it okay
Only-
just,
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
no, go ahead. It's a conversation for,
The only thing is, I think not meeting in November would be fine, especially if we're already scheduling things for the October meeting to talk about. If we don't meet in December, my only concern is that we won't meet until the end of January, and February is Black History Month, which we historically, meaning for 1 year, have done some larger programming. So I guess I would want us to definitely meet at least once before January, just to kind of talk about that and get the ball rolling, and if we need to, contact speakers or get, rooms reserved. Doesn't happen the last week of January, but yeah.
so then that proposal of making maybe the October meeting a little longer, does that work?
Yeah, I think if there's a chance, in my mind, maybe making the October meeting longer and maybe meeting once, like in the third week of December or something, just to kind of go over things.
That's so tricky, Christopher. I mean, December fills up so fast with other stuff. So, I mean, so yeah.
Oh, no, go for it. I just was gonna say, I've kind of already hit the ground running for January, which is Poverty Awareness Month, and the banner there, and kind of doing that, so it would be good, definitely good to have a check-in, so that we don't, what, happened, for the 4th of July, happen, where it's just, we don't have enough time, so good to check in on that.
Is that something you think you could have done by the end of October?
Yeah, Diane?
Yeah, I think you can.
I guess I can.
That does mean that I have to get the artwork and get it to Cheryl, and she's gotta have time to put it in the banner.
All right, I will, end of October, let me,
Mid-October, maybe we'll do that.
So we're talking about doing kind of a longer meeting in October and then a meeting in December. But if we did it in November instead, like at a weirder time, November, like Thanksgiving is there, but it's less time consuming than like the December months, because you have just the kind of one chunk of a holiday. So we could maybe do mid-November as kind of our November-December meeting, and then meet up again in January.
Yeah. November 19th, Tuesday the 19th.
Are people around?
say that date again?
November 9th.
19th, I have on my calendar.
What date is planning commission? Is that one of the, I get,
Monday.
Tuesday, I guess that's the 12th, the day after, probably.
Well, except we have city council.
Council's on the 12th, planning commission's on the 18th.
18th, okay.
I also think that the holiday season is really crazy busy. What if we did the first week of January or the second week of January? Would that give us enough time to get what we need to get done or no?
It's gonna be, sorry, Amanda.
Yeah, I was just thinking about like if we're planning on inviting speakers and finding space and whatever programming we're doing, that should happen before the holidays. So
And
that we
before
have time
the
to advertise it and come up with honorariums if that's a thing.
January's pretty,
Yeah.
We might want to have those discussions in October.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I
Exactly.
just think we can start having okay, this is the person we want to reach out to, and then we should come back once before January to be like, oh no, this person doesn't want to do it. We need to find someone else.
Yeah.
I don't think it's too early to put it on next month's agenda.
Sure.
I agree with that for sure.
I'm less concerned, I guess, about not meeting November, December if we're already planning for January and February and September and October.
I mean, we can also tentatively plan for the 19th, and if we,
I think that's
smash out a bunch of work in October and we're feeling good, then we just decide a few of us take on some tasks,
Yeah.
do that work ahead of time and just check in over email
Okay.
And if we're feeling good by November, we just say see you next year.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
We'll put it on the calendar for the 19th, at the staff level, so we're notifying the public
Yep.
when we get there, and then if we feel like we're in good shape, then we can cancel it.
I like it.
How much longer is the October meeting going to be?
Not longer, just more.
Yeah. I thought we were talking about extending the time.
I did too, like.
So did I.
I think this is exercising what we call wishful thinking. Well, do we have any, will there be anything else in the room that evening that we need to be aware of?
I was gonna try to piggyback these meetings, yeah.
Okay.
Each month.
I mean, we can also talk about agenda, see if we can like shrink it down to just cover this
Right.
really
least-
needs to happen.
Give you guys a rest break between meetings and some snack time.
You just, listen, city council goes for like 5
Hey,
hours.
I'm just saying wellness is important, even if you're.
No, you're right. Well, let's maybe, Amanda and I can talk about that and get back in touch with you all for timing for the 24th. Even if we maybe start, at 5:20 and go till 7:15 or something, I don't know. Maybe, hey, that's an extra like half an hour.
That's it, yeah.
So, yeah. Okay, cool.
It is the 22nd, October 22nd. You said 24.
Oh, I was talking about sort of September, sorry, 24, and then yes, October 22nd. Or yes, correct, yes.
Yes.
I'm with it now.
Again, I take a Slim Jim in my bag. If you.
No.
Gosh.
Okay. So.
You think that was for you?
And speaking of agendas,
Yes.
is there anything that anybody wants to talk about next meeting?
Besides everything we've already said.
Besides, yeah.
Yeah.
Anything new? I guess, and would it be fair that, would you have like a little update of just kind of how things are going? Okay, cool.
Volunteers.
Yeah.
We just have to let her do her thing. And then we
Yes.
can do it whenever. Okay.
And then,
You already have a Slim Jim menu.
It's past 6:30, which is his dinner, but I did eat early, so he's trying to con me like every single time we do this. I've already given him treats.
and then we'll just hopefully have some update about the Veterans Day stuff. And then we will get the conversation going on Black History Month and January and February things, and then not expecting to have all the answers. Okay, anything else?
Cool. Meeting adjourned.
6:46 p.m.
Bye, Lori.
Bye, Lori. Bye, Izzy, if you're still there.
No.
Thanks for coming.
No, it,